Going to read the first part of Chapter 8, Unearthing Secrets. Afternoon sunlight filtered through the overlapping branches above the nest as Summer, Nate, Trevor, and Pigeon sat on the ground facing each other. Between them, on a weathered remnant of cardboard, sat all the magic candy that they had collected to date. The moon rocks, the shock bits, and 3 leftover pieces of trick candy, along with the new candy they had just received from Mrs. White. Nearby stood the 49er. After exiting the candy shop, the 4 friends had looped around back where Mrs. White had met them at an unmarked door. She had then entrusted them with the 49er bundled in a green bed sheet. The wooden figure was so heavy that Trevor and Nate had to share the load. The 2 of them had lugged the wooden miner directly to their hideout by the creek. Beside the 49er sat 2 boxes of white fudge Pigeon had purchased for his mother. Hear ye, Pigeon announced. The governing council for the Blue Falcon Treasure Hunting Society is now in session, our president, Summer Atler, presiding. I feel like such a nerd, Nate muttered. I appreciate all of you gathering on such short notice for this important discussion, Summer said, ignoring Nate's grumbles. Pigeon requested we convene immediately, and given the importance of the topic at hand, I seconded the motion. Pigeon? Thank you, Pigeon said. Guys, I'm worried that we've gotten way over our heads. Candy that makes you float around is one thing. Candy that lets you create infernos and controls people's minds is another. Whoever Mrs. White is, she is very powerful, and I'm starting to really worry she might not be one of the good guys. So those of you that have been thinking that, is it because of that weird man, Nate said. He's part of the reason, Pigeon said. Remember how he warned us about Robin Graves? What if he really did come from the future? We've seen magic candy that can produce equally impossible results. That guy said he was me, Nate said. He didn't look anything like me. There is no chance I'm going to look like that when I grow up. And maybe it was nothing, Summer said, but keep it in mind, especially since he somehow knew we would be Robin Graves. Maybe he's from Mrs. White's competition, Trevor said. You know, trying to make us distrust her in order to slow her down. That's an idea, too. And Pigeon conceded another possibility. Don't get me wrong, I'm in no hurry to jump to hasty conclusions. I just want to make sure we've considered all the different possibilities before we keep helping her. But we have to do this mission, Nate said. We already took the candy. We could return it, Summer said. Tell me this, Pigeon said. If Mrs. White is so powerful that she can make magic candy, why is she relying on 5th graders to run all her errands? She said the candy only works well on kids, Nate reminded them. Well, shouldn't there be some other way, Pigeon persisted. It seems irresponsible, to send kids around trespassing and stealing stuff. Nate folded his arms. Trevor shifted his feet. It seems to me like Mrs. White doesn't want to take any risks herself, and she thinks kids are easy to manipulate. Part of it might be that she likes to see kids using her candy, Trevor suggested. She acted like that at first, Pigeon said. Have you noticed how she has gotten more and more demanding? How she spends more time threatening to take the candy away than offering to share it with us? Just because she wants to find this treasure doesn't make her wicked, Nate argued. Sure, I think she really wants to find it, and yeah, she wants helpers who will do their part, but that doesn't make the candy less fun or the adventure less cool, and it doesn't make her a villain. I agree, Trevor said. We're not saying she's evil, Summer said. Just that she might be, Pigeon clarified. How do we know what the message in the pocket watch really said? How do we know that she's truly related to Hanover Mills? How do we know if there's actually a treasure, or that she would share it with us if she finds it? Those are all great questions. Here's the other question, Nate said. Is the candy so awesome that you would do all this just to be able to use it? The answer for me is yes. I've hoped all my life that something this cool would happen to me. I used to salvage broken appliances and collect little scraps of wire and metal in hopes that someday I would assemble it all into a robot. Guess what? I never got close. I used to mix magical potions out of ingredients from the pantry. They didn't work, but my grandma was nice enough to buy them for a quarter and pretend to drink them. And I've had a million other daydreams that never happened either. But this is real. Magic candy that actually works. If I get treasure on top of it, that's just a bonus. But what if Mrs. White really is dangerous? Summer asked. We're not just concerned that she might not share the treasure. What if the white fudge is harming our families in ways that she hasn't told us? What if we end up helping her carry out some terrible scheme that hurts people? Don't you think that sounds a little paranoid? Trevor asked. I mean, the lady makes magic candy. If she wants to cause harm, she'll cause harm whether we help her or not. What reason would she have to lie to us? Why involve us at all? Summer and Pigeon were silent. I don't know, Pigeons finally said. I just want to be careful. I mean, are we really going to dig in a grave to get a box tomorrow night? I'll be doing the digging, Nate said. The rest of you just have to keep watch and help collect whatever is hidden. I'm not sure I totally trust Mrs. White, Trevor confessed. I have my doubts about her, but I definitely want to see what's in that box. And think about this. If she is evil, wouldn't it be best if we were in a position to keep an eye on her? Who else is going to stop her? The police? She's got magic. She'll just give them white fudge and send them away. Or hypnotize them with a sweet tooth, Nate said. I'm with Trevor. We need to watch her closely. I guess that makes sense, Summer said slowly. In that case, I think we should examine whatever we find ourselves before we hand it over to her. I would have liked to have seen that note on the watch. For all we know, we may really be going where Margaret Spencer is. This could have nothing to do with Hanover Mills. You know, Nate said, Mrs. White could fake a note as easily as she could fake a story. Not if we had examined the watch ourselves when we first got it, Summer said. That's all I'm saying. I'm fine with checking out what we find before turning it over to her, Nate said. Meet here tomorrow at midnight, Trevor proposed. The others agreed. Bring your bike, Summer suggested, and don't fall asleep this time. And that's the end of the first part of the chapter. We'll read more next time.